PayPal is a safe and easy way to transfer money between buyers and sellers of both online stores and offline or brick-and-mortar stores. As a buyer, all you need to do is link your credit card or debit card and/or your bank account to PayPal, and you're good to go. You no longer have to have your credit card info or bank account numbers to make purchases. PayPal securely stores that information, and all you need to do is click on the PayPal Buy button, log into your PayPal account, and purchase. It's that simple. The merchants do not see any of your banking or credit card information because PayPal keeps all that stuff securely locked away. Plus, as a buyer, PayPal does not charge you anything for their services because their small fees come from the seller. Now, as a seller or business owner, it is equally secure and simple. For you to take advantage of the power of PayPal, you just need to link your bank account info and an email address, and you're up and running. No hoops to jump through and no credit checks to worry about. As a business, there are two main things that you need to receive payments online: a payment gateway and an internet merchant account. Now, these two items can require credit checks and hoops to jump through, but PayPal can act as both your payment gateway and your merchant account, and without those hoops and credit checks, making it easy for you to receive payments from your customers. So whether you're a buyer or seller or both, head on over to PayPal.com and sign up for your account today. That's the end of this video. What is PayPal? What type of PayPal account do you need? Well, there are 5 PayPal account types. The 3 main types, the personal and the premier, are for individuals, and the business accounts are for, well, businesses. Then there are the student account type and the micropayment type, used as a business account if the business takes a whole bunch of payments of, say, $10 or less. This video will go through the 3 main account types to help you decide which one best fits your needs. Now, when you go to PayPal.com, up in the top left corner here, you're going to see 2 links, one that says personal and one that says business. The personal has 0 monthly fees, where a couple of the 3 business account types have monthly fees. Let's go and take a look at that real quick. And there's a bunch of tools here, as well as a toll-free number up here that can help answer any of your questions you might have towards the business account or anything else for that matter on PayPal. But if we come on down here and under the Get Started button, click on the link that says See All Plans. This will tell you a little bit more about the 3 different business plans that they have available for you. The most popular, as it says here, is the standard at $0 per monthly fee. Then you've got the advanced at $5 a month, and then you've got the pro for $30 a month. And at the bottom of each of these boxes gives you a link that says see all the features of that particular option. So for more details on the differences between the $5, the $30, or the 0 monthly fees, just go ahead and check that out as well. Now, if you're just starting out selling things online and you are just using your name, for example, Dolly Smith, and not Dolly's Dolls Incorporated, then you can use the personal premier account type and be just fine. And you can always change later if you decide later on to go to an LLC or incorporate and register a business name and use that business name on PayPal. Now, the personal account types allow you to shop online without having to pay any PayPal fees. Remember, the fees are paid by the sellers, not the buyers. And you can send and receive money using just an email address. Now, with a personal account only, there is a monthly limit of receiving $500, and that can only be from other PayPal users. So if you have potential customers that are not a PayPal user but do have a credit card or debit card, they're not going to be a customer of yours. At least ways not if you only have a personal account. Now, when you do receive money into your personal PayPal account, your fees are going to be higher than if you had a Premier personal account. Plus, with a Premier account, there's no limits on how much you can receive monthly, and you can receive from PayPal users as well as credit and debit card users. So you can see there's a major benefit in upgrading from your personal account type to a Premier account type, because you can receive more money, you can receive those funds from additional customers, and you're paying less in transaction fees. And upgrading from a personal to a Premier account is as simple as clicking a link and filling in the information. No extra cost, no hassles. Now, if you are going to be doing business and using a business name like Dolly's Dolls Incorporated, then you will need the business account, and then depending upon your needs, you would choose between the 3 types of business accounts that we looked at earlier. Now, PayPal does offer a lot of merchant tools to help you succeed with your business, and there are loads of guides all over the PayPal site to help you along the way. So take some time and poke around to get familiar with the various tools and help that they offer. For example, if you scroll down to the bottom of the page here, you have the help section and the contact section, which actually are the same exact page. But if we take a look at one of these, you've got tons of additional information here, and over here you can visit the community forum so you can speak with other members of PayPal, in addition to some of these other links that will take you to the staff of PayPal. So whatever question you might have, chances are pretty good the solution is somewhere on this page. Let's go on back here. And at the very bottom, if you go to the blog, they have regular postings here of additional information about PayPal and what they're doing currently and how some of this stuff might affect you and your business. Hopefully this video has helped you get a better understanding on getting the proper PayPal account and where else you can go for more help. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day. PayPal is a service that allows buyers to make purchases without having to pay any additional fees to do so. Generally, the sellers are the ones that pay the small fees in order for them to receive those payments. Now, once you head over to PayPal.com, scroll on down to the bottom of the page here and click on the link for fees, and that'll bring you to the page that explains all the goodies involving the fees. As you can see here, buying, always free. That's easy enough to explain. And for transferring money, it says here, usually free. A good example of this might be if you've got a child in college and you're wanting to send them some money for books or pizza, then you can do that at no cost to you, but there is a fee to them to receive that. Now actually, the fee to them is going to be higher than if you were to pay that fee to send it. For example, for them to receive, say, $100, it might cost them 70 cents. But for you to send that and them not have to pay that 70 cents, it would probably cost you, let's say, 25 cents. Now, I'm probably off on my figures, but just to give you the demonstration, it's going to cost you less to send it than if you pay the fee than for them to pay the receiving fee. Hopefully that makes sense. But here's a breakdown of those fees because they do vary if the person that's receiving that money is outside of the U.S., as explained here, and how are you funding that money that you're sending. Is it through a debit or credit card, or is it through a PayPal or bank account balance? As far as the fees involved in selling something, that's a breakdown right here. Typically, it's 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction. And I think they have an example in here somewhere that if it's a $100 transaction, it works out to be about 32 cents per $100 sale. As a matter of fact, in the statements that you receive as a seller, they do lump that all together. They don't have a separate column for 2.9% and another column for 30 cents per deal. They've got it all lumped together under one column for fees. So just be aware of that whenever you get your statement. And this is a rough breakdown here of those fees, sales within the United States and international sales. As you can see, for international sales, they're going to be much more, actually 1% more, and the fixed fee is going to be 30 cents if that person that is paying you money from outside of the U.S. is sending that money in U.S. dollars. If they're sending that money in Australian dollars or euros, then it's going to go up because that fee is based on the currency received. So hopefully they're sending you that money in US dollars. That way it's going to be the least amount, and that being 30 cents per deal. And if you're using the PayPal here card reader, that thing that you got stuck to the top of your iPhone or Android phone, then here's a breakdown of the fees for that. Now for a more detailed breakdown, come on up here and click on PayPal merchant fees. And this is for the business accounts, not for the personal Premier accounts. So under the business accounts, if you have the standard, there's no additional monthly fee. If you have the advanced, then it's an additional $5 a month fee. And if you have the Pro, then that's an additional $30 a month fee on top of the per transaction fees, which just like it is for the individual Premier account, it's 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction. Unless you have some volume discounts that you can apply for. And here's a breakdown of that. Now, if you do qualify for this, in other words, you have $3,000 or more in gross monthly sales, it's not automatic to receive these deductions. You have to apply for it. And you just click on this right here. And like it says, it's a one-time application and it's subject to approval. And for additional breakdowns in other fee structures, just scroll on down further. Like for example, the micropayment discounts. If you have average sales of less than $10 a pop, then you can qualify for the micropayment rate at 5% instead of the 2.9% plus the 5 cents instead of the 30 cents per transaction. A little bit of a breakdown here for you. And the fees involved if you're using that card reader thingy I was talking about earlier. And any additional fees that can be broken down for you right here. And scrolling on down, you've got some additional fees and FAQs, or frequently asked questions, you can work with. And if there's any questions that you might have that are not found here, then a good spot to go to is the contact or the help section, and they're both actually taken to the same page. But if you click on that link, here you've got several links that will take you to answers generated by the staff of PayPal. And if you visit their community forum, it will require you to register one time, but that's a fantastic place to get help from other users of PayPal. And that's a look at the various fees for using PayPal as a seller or merchant, and for transferring money both domestically and internationally. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day. Before you begin sending money or spending money with PayPal, you must first create your PayPal account. So you want to head on over to paypal.com, and in the top right of the page, you want to click on the sign up button. But before you do that, since you are going to be entering some personal information, you want to make sure that the page that you're on, that URL begins with HTTPS. The S means it's secure. And you also want to make sure that PayPal is spelled properly. And that said, you then want to decide if you're going to go with a personal account or a business account. Now myself, I'm going to use a personal account for my business because I'm using my name in my business and not a business name. And if you're not sure which direction you want to go, then you can always come on down to the bottom of the page and click on Help or Contact. It'll take you to the same page, and either ask the staff of PayPal which account type is best for you. And you can do that a couple of different ways. You can email them, you can call them, or you can even see if that particular answer already exists in one of these other links. Here's their email address, and you can call them, or you can also sign up for the free members forum and post your question in the members forum and get feedback from a fellow PayPal user. But again, I'm going to be using a personal account for my business, and then I'm going to upgrade that to a Premier account. In either case, we want to click on sign up. Then you want to choose either PayPal Personal, which is the one I'm going to go, or PayPal Business and Nonprofits. And like I was saying, I'm going to go with the personal and then upgrade it. This is the link that I would be clicking on after I get my personal account set up. And by the way, you might have a different looking page that comes up as well. If we come on back here and then go back to personal and then click on the sign up page, it's going to give us this page. It's the same exact thing, only a little bit different. Again, make sure that the URL starts with HTTPS and you'll be good to go. Again, I'm clicking on personal and then click on continue, and it's asking for my country of residence, email address, password, and then confirm that password. Now this email address is also going to be your username, and the password, they do have some stipulations here that you'll find out as soon as you put your mouse in here and click. It tells you it has to be at least 8 characters and that you have to use at least one number or one of these symbols. Myself, since PayPal is dealing with my money, I would want this to be as secure as possible, and I would say a minimum of 12 characters, and use uppercase, lowercase, numbers, special characters, the whole 9 yards. And since I have a tough time remembering what I had for dinner last night, I also use a password manager like RoboForm or LastPass, and have that tool remember these passwords for me. Now, I'm going to go ahead and paste my password in there, then paste it in here again to confirm it, and then click on continue. And now just some basic information to put in here. First name, last name, address, mobile phone if you have one, and then enter the CAPTCHA code here. Click on the box here saying that you've read and agree to their terms, and then click on the agree and create account. And it's really that simple. At this point, I have successfully created my PayPal account, and if you want a built-in credit line through Bill Me Later, which is an additional service that PayPal offers, then you can just fill in the blanks here. I'm going to go with Not Now. And technically at this point, you just created your PayPal account. But there are still limitations, like you can't send money or pay with PayPal until you link your bank account with that PayPal account. I also suggest that you link a credit card with that account as well. If you don't have a credit card or debit card, then you might want to consider getting one of those credit cards like Walmart, where the only balance on that credit card is the money that you put into it. Those types of credit cards are ideal for any type of online shopping anyway. Now, by now, you've probably received an email from PayPal requiring you to click on a link in that email to verify your email address. So these are just the last few steps you have to go through in order to complete the registration process for your new PayPal account. And remember, if you want to conduct business with your PayPal account and accept payments from credit card users and payments of more than $500 a month, then you want to upgrade your personal account to the Premier account. And you'll see links to do that on most any page that you go to once you've logged in with your personal account. Well, that's going to bring us to the end of this video on creating your PayPal account. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day. This video is going to show you how to create, customize, and add a PayPal payment button to your web page or sales page for selling digital products. Now, in order to best understand this, let's walk through the entire purchasing process first. Your visitor goes to your sales page, they read all about your widget, gadget, thingamabob, and they fall in love with it. They come on down to the payment button, they click on it, they're taken to the PayPal payment page where they give you money, and then they're automatically directed to your download page where they begin to download all of their purchased goodies. And this entire process, when done properly, is automatic. Kind of a set it and forget it situation. Now, a few things you are going to need in order for this video to help you out. And that's the web page or sales page that you want to put the PayPal payment button on, the download page that your buyer will be sent to after payment, plus you're going to need the URLs to these. That's this guy here for the download page and this guy here for the sales page. And you're going to need the URL to the image because we're not going to use the default PayPal button. We're going to customize that and instead use this because this matches the look and feel of our site. And of course, you will need a PayPal account too. So let's go ahead and log into our PayPal account and create our button. Now, once you're logged in, you come on up here to the Merchant Services link and go ahead and left click on that. Then right here, we've got the Create Payment Buttons for your websites. Go ahead and click on that. And by the way, if you're in a different country than the US, then your pages might look a little bit different than what I'm showing you here in this video. If you're unable to poke around and kind of find the right spot, then you might need to contact the customer service for PayPal in your area and have them kind of walk you through the process of what I'm demonstrating here in this video. So at this point, we've got three options. The one we're going to be working with is option 1. So go ahead and click on Create a Button. And the type of button we're going to be creating is the Buy Now button. You've got these other options here, but that's the makings of a different video. So let's go ahead and give it a name. And I'm not going to give it an item ID. That comes in handy if you've got an inventory to work with. The price, give it whatever price you feel is worthy of your awesome thingamabob, and then choose the currency. And I'm going to keep things simple here, so I'm not going to go into multiple prices or adding drop-down menus. There's all kinds of cool stuff you can do, but we're going to keep things pretty simple and basic. And right now, this is how the default button looks. You can customize the text or appearance of that button right here, and that's what we're going to do by adding our own button image down here. But just to let you know, you do have some other customizations available for you using just the default button. You can change that to a smaller button. You can display the credit cards or not. I prefer to display them just to let the buyers know that they can make this purchase even if they do not have a PayPal account. And you could also change the text from Buy Now or Pay Now. But that's that. We're going to go ahead and check this radio button here to use our own image. And let's grab that URL right here. And by the way, before you get to this point, you should always double check your URLs to make sure they're correct by pasting them in your browser window, because it's better for you to find out that they're not right than for a potential buyer to let you know, hey, I couldn't send you money because such and such wasn't working right. Okay, so that's right. And I'm going to put that URL right here. And don't wait around for it to show up over here in the customer's view box because it never does. Now we want to come on down here, and if you are going to put in shipping or taxes, then you've got the options here, but usually with a digital product, neither of those are going to apply. And here you want to make sure you have this top option checked where you're using your secure merchant account ID. And if you are tracking inventory, then you've got this step 2 you can work with, but that's not what we're working with. So we're going to skip step 2, go straight to step 3. And this is where we add our URLs for the download page and for our sales page. In case they cancel somewhere in the process of making this payment, then they're automatically redirected back to the sales page, just in case you want them to reread this stuff. You might also opt to have some kind of a email capture form URL here instead. Totally up to you. But this is the big guy here. This is the one that you want to make sure that you have correct. So especially here, you want to test these to make sure they're working properly. Good to go. So that goes right here. Make sure you tick that box, otherwise that's not going to work. And this other stuff up here, do you want to let your customers change the order quantities? No. And can your customer add special instructions? Sure, why not? They rarely do, but just in case. And do you need your customer's shipping address for a digital product? No, we do not. And the advanced variables, you can do a lot of cool stuff with this, but that's beyond the scope of this video, so we're going to leave it alone. Click on Create button, and we're in the home stretch. Basically, all we do at this point is simply click our mouse in there. It automatically selects everything. We right-click, left-click on copy to put it into our clipboard. So now let's go ahead and open up our sales page in our HTML editor, and I'm using Composer. And let me see here. Let's go ahead and go to the split view so I can show you the code down at the bottom and the actual image area up here at the top. Let's scroll on down to the payment button right here. Go ahead and select that. Now we come on up here to Insert. Come on down to HTML. And we want to select this. And now we want to paste over this the code that we have in our clipboard from our PayPal button. Click on Insert. And that is our PayPal button right there. Come on up here, click on Save. And now we're ready to upload our new index page to our server and overwrite the existing one. I'm going to go ahead and open up FileZilla. Let's go ahead and refresh this just to make sure we're still connected. Yep, okay. So this is the existing sales page that is not edited. This is the edited sales page here. Let's go ahead and right-click and left-click on Upload, or I could just left-click, hold, and drag it over there. And I want to overwrite the existing one, so click on OK. And we're done with FileZilla. Let's get this out of the way. And we're done with PayPal, so I'll log out of that here in just a second. But let's come on back to our sales page. And as you can see, as I hover over this, the mouse is not changing, so it's still the old one. We need to refresh the page. And now as I hover over it, you can see that the pointer is turning into a hand, which means that's a clickable image now. If we click on that, it takes us to PayPal, hopefully. There we are. And here's our PayPal payment page for our demo thingy. We make our payment, then we're automatically redirected to our download page, and everybody's happy. And that brings us to the end of this video on creating, customizing, and adding a PayPal payment button to our sales page. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day. This video is going to walk you through the process of creating a custom PayPal payment page. Now here's an example of a default PayPal payment page. Now let's take a look at a customized PayPal payment page. You scroll on down here to the payment button. Right here, go and click on this, and it takes us to the custom PayPal payment page. There we are. And as you can see, this PayPal page is a great place to continue the look or brand of your site so that your soon-to-be paying customer continues to feel comfortable in their buying process. Plus, it can even add credibility, because I remember the first time that I saw a custom PayPal page, I thought that these people I'm buying from must be some kind of big shots with their own logos on a PayPal page. Well, I've since learned that it's not that difficult to do, as I'm about to show you. Now, you're allowed to create up to 3 customized payment pages per PayPal account. Now, with multiple custom pages, you can set one for your primary page that will show up all the time unless you designate one of the other pages for an even greater custom look for you and your customers. And I'll show you here in a second how to designate the non-primary payment page on your Buy Now buttons. Because the one that I'm showing you here, this is not the primary page. So let's get to work and create our custom page. Go ahead and log into our PayPal account. And once you're logged in, come on over to Profile. Come on down to My Selling Tools. And I believe it's the 4th item down. Yes, Custom Payment Pages. Come on over to the far right and click on Update. And this is where you click on Add to add a new page. First thing you want to do is give your custom page a name. And you can name it whatever you want, as long as it's 30 characters or less and no spaces. And now you can add a logo image or a header image, or both. Now the header image is what I had showed you in that custom page I showed you a minute ago. The logo image is a little bit smaller and on a different style page. The logo image is 190 pixels wide by 60 pixels high, and the header image is 750 by 90. Again, these are maximum sizes, and you might want to go ahead and stick with the max. It just gives you more landscape to work with. But both of these must be hosted on a secure server. In other words, the URL has to start with HTTPS. And if you do not have any of your domains on a secure server, don't sweat it. Don't rush right out and buy one, because there's a cool service that's totally free that will host your images for you. Just make sure that you are following these restrictions, or these guidelines rather, that the image is no more than 750 wide or 90 pixels high, and that the file size is no more than 50K. But it's very simple, straightforward. Once you've created your image, click on Choose File, navigate to the location on your computer where that image is at, put in your email address, type in the CAPTCHA image information, click on Upload Image, and within a couple of seconds they will email you your HTTPS URL for that image. And I've already done that for both the header image here and the logo image here. And here's an example of the email that you're going to get whenever they send your HTTPS URL. Now let's go ahead and take these URLs and put them on our page. Now this one is for the header image here, and this one's for the logo, the smaller one, 190 by 60. And again, you can see where they start with HTTPS. And you can put in the color hex codes here if you'd like. It just adds a little more flair. Now it says here certain colors are not allowed. And you'll be given an error message up here at the top, big yellow box saying, can't use this color because it comes too close to matching the color of some of the text being used. And if you want more information on the different hex codes, you can just click on one of these links here and it will pop up various colors that you can just select, whichever one you think might match your particular scheme best, and it'll give you the hex code down here that you would then enter into these boxes. And they don't have to all be the same color. Again, it just depends on your personal preference. But for the time being, I'm going to leave the colors alone and just stick with the images. Then come on down here and preview, and you can preview in both the enhanced and the classic. Let's go ahead and do that. And the enhanced first. That's a picture of the logo. As you can see, there's not a lot of room to work with, but I think if done properly, this will look a lot better than just the plain old black text on white background. And this is the gradient color here that you can change that I did not change right here. Like so. So now let's take a look at the classic view. And now then, let's go ahead and get rid of the logo and see what we got here. Enhanced checkout. And I like this better than having the logo in there, but again, it's totally up to you. Because if you have the logo in there, then this header image is not going to show up. You'll just have the little logo thingy stick up there. So now you know what it looks like if you have the logo or without the logo. Let's go ahead and close this out. Go ahead and save this. Now by default, the PayPal page is the primary. You can make your custom page the primary by just selecting this button here, Make Primary. Now if we want to have the PayPal page primary, we'll put it back the way that it was. Now let's say, for example, that we want the PayPal page or one of our other custom pages to be the primary, but on occasion we want a different custom page to show up when somebody clicks on the payment button. Here's how you can override that. Come on up here and make a button. Go to Merchant Services. I'm going to go to one of my saved buttons, and we'll just go ahead and edit this button here. Come on down to step 3. And then in this box here, you put this code here. And in place of name of page, you put the name of your page. And our page was, if I remember correctly, capital M-Y underscore capital D-E-M-O. I believe that was it. Click on Save Changes. And here's how we can test this real quick. Come on up here to Email. Copy this and put this in our browser. And this should be our custom page and not the default PayPal page. There we are. And then at this point, we simply copy this code and we put it on our website where we want our payment button to be. And this will bring us to the end of this video on creating and using a customized PayPal payment page. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day. This video is going to show you just how easy it is to upgrade your personal Premier account to a PayPal business account. Now, since I do not need all the extra tools the paid types of the PayPal business accounts offer, I'm going to upgrade to the zero-cost standard business account. Now, there are a couple of main reasons why you should upgrade your Premier account to a business account. Among others, number one would be to allow you to create up to 200 restricted access accounts for your employees or virtual assistants with their own login credentials. A good example of this would be to create an account for a bookkeeper and that login only allows access to the transaction report section of your account. In other words, they wouldn't have access to any of your money, just the reports about your money. And number two, it also allows you to send money through the PayPal mass payment feature. With this feature, you can send several payments to one or several different people at one time instead of having to send each payment separately. Now, this feature is a huge time saver if, for example, you have a lot of commission payments to send out each month. Now, to do this, you simply log into your Premier account and go over to your profile link. Now, actually, there's a couple of different ways we can do this, and I'll talk about both of them, but I can only show you one. Now, one thing I want to point out, too, is in the Premier account, which is what I have right now, and you can see right here, account type Premier, status verified, and yeah, it does have to be verified. In other words, it has to be hooked up to a bank account and a credit card or debit card. But you come over here to profile, and right now it says personal information. Once this is upgraded to a business account, it'll say something related to business information. Now, one way that you can do this is you come on down here to My Settings, click on that link, and right here in the top line where it says account type Premier, you'll have a link here. It'll say upgrade now or something about upgrade. Instead of close account, you'd simply click on that link and then select business account on the next page. Then you enter your business information and then click submit. But for the way my account's set up, come on up here to profile, click on my personal info, that top link right there, and you scroll down here to where it says business information. Over to the right of that, click on update, and then down at the bottom here, you click on upgrade. Come over here to the business type drop down box, and I'm going to select individual since I'm not going to be using a business name. I'm going to be using my personal name, and then click on continue. And then you just simply fill in the information here. And some of these items, for example, your average monthly payment volume or your average transaction amount, they're not looking for exacts here. For example, the average monthly payment volume for me on any given month could be $25,000 to $50,000. Most of the time though, monthly, it's less than $25,000. So I'm going to go ahead and select this one here. And what will your average transaction be? Sometimes it's $3, sometimes it's $297. So I'm going to just kind of stick it right here in the middle. And if you're not sure about any of this stuff here, like it says, hover over the not sure link and it says give your closest best estimate. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in all this stuff here and then click on continue. And that's how easy it is to upgrade your personal Premier account to a PayPal business account. And everything that I had set up in my personal Premier account, for example, all of my PayPal buttons, my save buttons, they are still intact. So if you have 7 years of PayPal buttons scattered throughout the internet through having had a Premier account, don't worry about having to go through and change them all because you now have a business account. They're still intact. And that's going to bring us to the end of this video on upgrading your PayPal Premier account to a PayPal business account. Thanks for watching and you have a great day. This video will walk you through the process of sending out a PayPal mass payment. The PayPal mass payment feature is a way for you to send payments to several different people at the same time, even if the amounts being sent are different. A great example of when this might happen is if you have an affiliate program that you have to make payouts to all of your affiliates each month. Now, if you have 1 or 2 affiliates, no biggie. Just send them their commissions as you normally would send someone their money through your PayPal account. If, however, you have 20, 30, 50, or even 100 affiliates, sending individual payments to them is going to be very time consuming to say the least. Now, with the mass payment feature, you upload one text document or CSV document with all the affiliates' info on it and fill in a couple of blanks on the PayPal mass payment page and send the payments on their way. So in about the same time that it would take you to send one affiliate their payment, you just sent all 50 or 100 affiliates their payment. Now that's the what and the why. Now let's look at the how. Now first off, in order for you to take advantage of the mass payment feature, you'll need to call a PayPal representative to have them activate your mass payment feature. And as of August 2013, you're going to have one of the 3 business account types. Prior to August 2013 or thereabouts, you could do the same thing if you had the Premier account or one of the business accounts. Well, they've changed that to now you have to have one of the business accounts. So if you currently have a verified Premier account, then all you need to do is upgrade to the zero-cost business account, then call a PayPal rep and have them activate the mass payment feature for you. Now that we've got all of our ducks in a row, you come on over here after you've logged into your PayPal account, click on Send Money. Now, even if you've not yet contacted anybody at PayPal to have them activate your mass payment feature, you will have the link here as well. But if you click on this link and it's not been activated, then you're going to get this yellow box up here saying, this feature is not enabled on your account, or something like that. And then it's going to tell you to contact the PayPal representative. Now, as it says here, you can send up to 5,000 payments at once. And there are two ways to submit your mass payment. You can upload a payment file, and that's what I'm going to be demonstrating here because I have no idea on how to use their APIs. Now, if you are a coder or a developer and want to learn more about this, then you've got this link right here to learn more. And if you want to learn all the ins and outs on the mass payment feature, you can go ahead and click on this link right here. It says how to upload. And then number 1 right here, of course, you can read all this stuff here, but I did want to point out that if you click on this link to go to the PDF guide, that this is no longer being maintained. But if you click on this link here and then scroll down and then click on the HTML version of this guide, this will take you to their developer site. And I would go ahead and bookmark this if you're interested anyway, because it's here that you'll find all the updated and maintained information about mass payments. Okay, now that I've got the public service announcements out of the way, let's take a look at an example of the file that you have to upload, because there are certain requirements for that file. You can either be uploading a text document or a CSV, or a comma separated values file, which is what you'll get if you use Microsoft Excel or its free equivalent, the OpenOffice Spread, I think it is, or OpenOffice Spreadsheet, or whatever that program is called. But I'm going to be using the text document. Now, if you do a text document, then you'll have to hit the tab button on your computer to move from one column to the next. Let me give you an example here. This is 3 of the potentially 5 columns you can have. The first 3 are mandatory. The 4th and the 5th column are totally optional, and I've chosen not to have them included in this example. But the first 3 columns are mandatory. The first column is the payment recipient's identifier, and in this case, they're all email addresses. These are the PayPal email addresses of the recipients. So naturally, before you even get to this point, you need to collect the PayPal email addresses of the recipients. Now, you also have the option of going with the phone number that recipient has on file with PayPal, and yeah, they all have to have a PayPal account or the PayPal customer ID. The thing is, though, is that you have to have this same information on that particular file. So if you have some of your recipients with the phone number and the others with the email addresses, then you're going to have multiple payment files because they all have to be the same on each file. Likewise with the country currency code, all of these have to be the same. In this case, it's USD or US dollar. If you have some that were receiving Canadian dollars or CAD, then those would have to be included on a separate payment file. And again, for all the details on that stuff, the whys and how comes, you can go to that one page that I was telling you about here. But that's the first and the third column. The second column, pretty important to the recipients, is the amount of money that you're sending them. And it has to be set this way. And depending upon the country that you're sending it to, it would either be decimal point for like US dollar, or if it's like going to Italy, then it would be a comma. Depending upon the country that you're sending it to, would depend on the separator that you're going to be using here. Again, more details on that can be found on that one page I showed you. Now, the 4th column is some kind of identifier if you wanted to use that. Like maybe you would want to put in for a rebate or a commission or whatever reason you're sending this particular recipient that money. And then the 5th column is an individual personalized note to that recipient. Unlike this one here, this is a message that's going to all recipients. Likewise with the email subject line, this would be going to all of the recipients' email subject line. Okay, so let's go ahead and upload this. We're going with email address opposed to the phone number or PayPal customer ID. We're going to go with the email address because that's what we have on our file. And I'm just going to put test in here and test in here. And then I'm going to upload the file. Just click on this link and navigate to the location on your computer where you have that file stored. And then click on open and then click on review. You can see it's right there. And at this point, you can review everything. And this also breaks down the fees. Now the fees are 2% up to a maximum of $1 per recipient. So if this were, say, $10,000 instead of $5, then 2% of $10,000 obviously is going to be more than $1. But $1 is the maximum that I would be paying, no matter how much is on there. But that's per recipient. So since all of mine were a nice round $5 figure, 2% of $5 is 10 cents. And there's 6 of them, thus the 60-cent fee. So the total cost to me is $30.60. Super simple. Then you can make any changes that you want at this point. And if you wanted to preview the email as they're going to be receiving it, then you've got that option right there. At this point, you just click on submit and the money is on its way. And that's how you can save loads of time by using the mass payment PayPal feature. Thanks for watching and you have a great day.